Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Motorcast. We've been away for a little bit, but we are back and we're in full force. Today, I'm joined by Joshua Sutil and our favourite guest, Elusive Kev. And of course, we're here to discuss the rather mysterious and, it's definitely the rally we needed after a little bit of a break, of Rally Finland, and a rather unexpected result. It's the man who's it's Mr. I'm only in my fourth rally of the season, Esapekka Lappi, who's managed to take it, and I'm certainly surprised by that. Josh, you've been bigging this man up for a while now, and are you a bit surprised that his first wins come so soon, and also at his home rally?
Yeah, I mean, if he was going to win it, I think it would be at Finland. But even so, this is just an incredible achievement for Esapekka Lappi, of course. You know, Latvala had his problem, absolute heartbreak for him. He probably would have won the rally, but, you know, Lappi was right with him and probably would have pushed him all the way. So, a fantastic and incredible achievement for Lappi. And what you mentioned, you know, it's only his fourth event in a 2017 car, and really just repaying the faith that Tota finally placed in Lappi. I mean, he's waited a long time for his chance, but once he's got his chance, he's really grasped it with both hands. And both him and Suninen doing really well. It's just going to kind of increase the confidence of teams in young drivers, which of course is fantastic and exactly what we want to see in the WRC. But yeah, what a win and what a great story, and what has been a really, really good season so far.
Well, we are seeing a real kind of... I don't think Finnish rallying's ever been in much dire straits, but we're seeing a real kind of Finnish resurgence now, and Kev, like Josh was saying, we saw Timo Suninen up there. Is WRC2 finally starting to produce the talent that I guess we were sort of expecting?
Yeah, it definitely looks like it. You know, it's taken a couple of years, you know, from the years of like Al Attiyad there, and, you know, Kubica as well, you know, coming through there for his little short stint. Now he's, of course, back in single seaters, but yeah, it's, you know, fantastic to see for, you know, Lappi. He's probably wanted to be in the WRC car for like a few years, since he won like the European Rally Championship back in 2014. But you know, waiting, it looks like it's really paid off for him, and you know, the same for Suninen as well. Even though after every stage, it looks like he's about to beat himself up on the dashboard, he still, you know, does fantastic. You know, just in his second rally, he's been, you know, absolutely superb. Perhaps even more impressive than, you know, than Appia has been, because, you know, the Toyotas, no, this was their home rally. You know, we expected them to do well, perhaps not this well, but we expected them to be, you know, pretty strong. Well, for Sunny, you know, with that M sport, you know, he's overshadowed by the likes of Ogier, you know, Tanak, and even Osberg as well. But, you know, he's proved to be, you know, right up there. And you saw, you know, at times on, you know, the rally leaderboards as well, you know, this event becoming like a Finnish, you know, coming back to being like just a Finnish party, you know, with like 4 Finnish guys at the front. So yeah, it's, you know, a fantastic event for Finland, and yeah, as you said, for young guys as well, seeing, you know, Suninen and Lappi right up there, and, you know, so Breen as well, who's come through, you know, the junior formula as well.
And for Toyota as well, I mean, who would have predicted this at the start of the year?
I definitely didn't. I didn't even think they'd get a win.
And now they've got 2.
And
this one was on pure pace as well. You know, the one in Sweden, okay, Latvala had a big helping hand from Neuville crashing, but this one was completely on merit and could have been a 1-2-3 had Latvala not had his problem, and yeah, Juha, he did it. he's got
he made it.
Yeah, he's got a WRC podium, Matty. I mean, what do you make of that one?
He definitely made it a little bit hard for himself. He did his customary crashing into a tree party piece on the final day, but he did get at the end, and I guess he'll look at it more as the second place lost, because he lost his position on the last stage, the power stage, to Alvin Evans, who we'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, I'm just happy that he's finally kind of shown up, because I think we've kind of been waiting for that for a little bit now.
Definitely. And he certainly seized probably the best opportunity to score a podium all season. Elfyn Evans, as you mentioned, I mean, what a performance from Elfyn. I mean, he was, the only human in the top 4, let's be honest, because, apart from the Finns. I mean, what a performance from Evans. I really didn't expect this at Finland. I think we were kind of touting Sardinia and Poland as kind of areas for Evans to do really well, and he didn't get the results there, but he got the result here in Finland, of course, his joint best result of the year, to add to his second place in Argentina. As you mentioned, a mega fight for second place, which really kind of characterised the final day of the rally. Fantastic three-way fight. Suninen kind of dropped out with a mistake, but Evans and Hannanen just so close together. I mean, Kev, what did you make of Evans' performance? Because certainly one of the best of his career so far.
Might be his best, even better than Argentina, where he was really strong on the first day in Argentina, but then struggled on the next couple of days. He perhaps pushed too hard on the final day and cost himself the win. While here in Finland, he struggled on the first day when it was damp and the D-Max, they couldn't quite get the temperature into the tyre. But then, from Saturday onwards, with the longer stages, with drier stages as well, tyres worked well. He drove, beautifully, especially on the final day when he had all the pressure of not just, on himself, but from M Sport as well, with, Tanak having an issue on Friday, with Ogier, of course, crashing out as well on Friday as well. So, he had all this pressure on him and he just stepped up his game, and it was really impressive seeing him drive on Sunday, perhaps being the best driver there. Of course, Lappi's kind of defending himself, but, Evans really pushing himself and getting that second place in the end just from Hannanen. So, yeah, really impressive performance from Evans, and he's had a couple of rallies where we've looked at him and you've seen, well, he's gone a bit average again, but now he really did step it up on, perhaps one of the toughest rallies as well, one of the fastest as well. So yeah, fantastic from Evans, and he's now right in that battle with Sordo for the top 5 in the Drivers' Championship again.
How much of his success do we put down to the D-Mac tyres though? Because I think of all the rallies we've seen this season, this is probably the one that's been the most it's shown the D-Mac strengths and weaknesses, with it clearly not working in wet conditions, but working really well on gravel stages, which we saw glimpses of in Australia, but perhaps not so much in Poland where we expected it, and also Sardinia. So I think, like you said, obviously Evans has kind of just turned it on in this rally, and I think, of all the places to do it, the fastest rally of the year. But does Evans just need to now build up the confidence? I think that's certainly a thing that's probably stopping him from getting his first win now.
Yeah, he just needs to be more consistent, doesn't he? You see him appear like every 3 rallies, but if he just builds consistency over a season, then yeah, I think that's really good. Sorry, Josh, I interrupted you.
No, it's all right. I was just going to say he's basically confirmed for next year as well. And we had Malcolm Wilson saying that, whatever Ogier does, I think Evans and Tanak are going to be there next year. Whether or not Ogier stays is a different matter, but those two seem to have a secure future. So after a few strong results, and as you mentioned, right on the back of Sordo now for 5th in the championship, Evans possibly could build up some of that confidence.
Well, I think the Ogier situation depends on whether he wins the championship or not. Or whether
and forward backing as well,
car.
Of course. Yeah, if that comes in or not.
Which is very important, and it's a bit surprising that Ford are the only manufacturer at the moment who are hesitant to kind of back the team. But it's uncertain whether they'll come back or not. I think if Ogier wins the championship, it may turn their eye. But I'm not 100% on that. And talking of Ogier, not exactly a brilliant rally to go out in the first day. In, a rather nasty crash. We had his co-driver and Gracia out with a concussion, which stopped him from re-entering the rally under Rally 2. And Josh, this is probably the biggest dent we've seen in this championship all year, surely, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's the first time, of course, he hasn't taken points from a weekend all year, which is pretty incredible. Top 5 finishes at every single rally for Ogier, and power stage points at all of them, apart from Monte Carlo, of course, and I believe that was rain affected. So that's pretty much the only reason why he didn't get points there in that power stage. But yeah, massive hit for Ogier, and of course co-driver as well. Both to see, I think they're both okay now. And Gracia seems to have made a kind of a full recovery from, of course, that mild concussion he suffered. Good that the FIA, I think, have those kind of regulations in place, so that injury couldn't get any worse. And it was good kind of fast action from them. And I think the team as well were, very kind of doing all the appropriate checks, which was good to see. But yeah, frustrating for Ogier, but really, if you're going to do it on any rally, this was probably the best one to do it, because, Thierry Neuville, got his worst finish of the season in 6th. And really, I mean, I don't know what you guys thought, but I think that's probably a bit more down to the Hyundai i20, possibly. I don't think it was really a Neuville problem, possibly. Just kind of the car really didn't suit Rally Finland, which is strange because that car's pretty much been fastest at most of the events so far this season.
Well, I don't know what Kev thinks, but I think he did well at Poland though. That's the only thing which you think is a similar sort of rally to Finland. It's obviously a little bit different. Roads are extremely narrow there, and it was quite wet, but it's a high speed rally. Kev,
yeah, like you saw in Poland, they finished 1-2 with Neuville and Patton, and Patton was really good on the first day until he met Tanak's rock and broke his suspension, and then did it again the next day. But yeah, Neuville was just off it all weekend. He basically conceded this weekend night on Saturday morning, saying he was just trying everything but couldn't be competitive. And you saw with Sordo as well, he was nowhere. Even though he said the car felt good, he just couldn't find any pace at all. Even though maybe Finland's perhaps his least favourite rally, and rally where you don't expect him to do well. But yeah, overall Hyundai were just pretty poor for like the first time this season. Yeah, and it is pretty strange seeing them be so average as well, as you said, after the season they've had. So yeah, maybe something to go back to the drawing board for the likes of Australia and Britain later in the season, where there's again it's going to be a bit speedy, and maybe Britain's a bit more like Poland. But for Australia, the season finale as well, if Neuville's in the title battle, you don't want him to be suffering like he did in Finland.
I kind of think though that Finland is a slight one-off. I think I wouldn't be too worried about it if I was in Neuville's position, because it is just the one rally so far. If we do see another repeat in Britain of a poor performance, obviously we've got the two tarmac rallies next, which are kind of going to throw everything up in the air. But if we do get a Britain and the car is off the pace, which I think is unlikely, but if it is, I think it's at that point, it's too close to the end of the season to fix anything at that point, but I would certainly be very worried if I was in his position and I only had a slender championship lead, or if I wasn't even leading the championship at all.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be chasing Ogier in the last 2 rounds, but yeah, it's just strange for Hyundai. And yeah, on the weekend where Neuville needed to take advantage, he's now level on points with Ogier, but perhaps would have liked to have got a top 5 and be leading after this, after seeing Ogier crash out.
It's worse to be ahead as well, isn't it, when you're level on points, because you get road position then. You don't get, you have to be first on the road. Ogier was very happy, I think, that he was like, Neuville's now gonna feel what I've been feeling for a number of years.
It's not going to be such a disadvantage though for the next 2 rounds, with them being tarmac rounds.
Yeah, that's true.
In fact, it might even be a little bit beneficial if you're starting further down and the car in front's been kicking up dust and putting that all over the road. You want to be out first, but then again, it depends how much. If the roads are, I'm not exactly sure on the use of the roads. Well, Germany, I'm not sure if the roads are used pretty much at all, other than for rallying. I know Spain, it's a different kind of story, but I think with Germany, it's less about road position and it's more about driving skill. Obviously, with the massive rocks at the side of the road, which we'll get into in a couple of weeks' time. But I don't think being the lead car on the road is necessarily going to hurt him in the short run. For sure.
And a real kind of, I think the Ogier territory really. I mean, the Hyundai should be fast there, but Ogier's always gone well at this kind of end of season events, and I think it's just really, really close to call. Probably too close to call between Neuville and Ogier.
I would like to think that Neuville's got what it takes to finally break that streak of Ogier's
That is true, but if I was a betting man, I'd still put my money on Ogier, to be honest. But I really hope this fight does go all the way, and I think it's fair to say it probably will.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
sorry.
You got to go with the experience of Ogier, but you also got to think of the teammates as well. Like Tanak's probably good at Britain and Australia. Well, Sordo will be good at Germany and Spain. So you got to think of them perhaps trying to interfere in the title battle as well.
I think the one person who really isn't in that now though is Latvala, and I think we could see that a lot when he retired the car I think that was a man who looked as if he was finally admitting that his championship season hopes were finally over. He's just got too much of a gap, and he's relying on too much foul play between Ogier and Neuville. You know, he ideally needs them to retire from at least one rally, and for him to win the rest, which I think is a bit out of his hands now. Incredibly out of his hands. But we've talked about the top guys for quite a long time. A team in which we haven't really talked about is Citroen, and Kev. Was there some signs of hope perhaps from Breen and Meek? The fact that they both managed to finish the rally.
Yeah, like for Meek, it's almost like a win finishing the rally for him. He had, of course he had the bad streak, got dropped, and also he had a bad event as well. Really did struggle with a bent steering on Friday. He clipped a couple of rocks, damaged the steering again late on Saturday, and just to make it to the finish, he described it probably best at the finish, where he said he's really struggling for confidence, and this is a place where you need it. And so it's probably no surprise that he's low down the order, but at least he saw the finish. So for Meek, it's good points, and for Breen, he was really impressive on Friday. It was just really disappointing how he had a spin in the middle of Saturday, and it kind of dropped him back, and then he made a few mistakes on the final day, so he dropped back out of that battle for the podium. But it's encouraging from Breen, and we probably should have seen him finish in 5th, to be honest, but that's been his favourite finishing position so far this season. But there's perhaps some signs of confidence in what Breen's doing, and of course they're going to have the big man coming back, testing the car next week, late this week or early next week with Loeb. So with his feedback as well, maybe for Citroen there's some hope, perhaps not for the rest of this season, but at least for next season, that they could try and fix this car, make it a bit more drivable for everyone.
I think the one problem I'm not exactly sure how useful Loeb's going to be. I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's a new breed of car, and obviously the guy's not lost any of his tricks, and he's going to provide some valuable information for the team. But it's not as if they can get any expertise off what the other teams have done differently. It's kind of they're kind of trying to engineer themselves into the unknown, out of the unknown. So it'll be difficult to see what kind of difference they can make. But Josh, I assume you're a bit less pessimistic than I am about this, and that you think that it's going to be a bit more of a confidence boost for not only the drivers but the team.
Oh, I'm not really sure, to be honest. I'm also a bit pessimistic. I mean,
come on.
Right, okay, this is the second time, only the second time in the last 2 seasons that Chris Meek has finished a rally in the points, which hasn't been a win. And that's not, a kind of testament to how often he wins. Unfortunately, it's just how often he retires. Just 2 points finishes. That, in the last 2 years, it's pretty dire. And, okay, he finished the rally great, but, like Kev said, the confidence wasn't there, the pace wasn't there. Breen had a problem, obviously, possibly might have been in the podium fight. But even then, Meek, I think he's upset with the team. I think he really did not like being dropped for Poland. I think that really got to him. It seemed to kind of get to him all weekend as well. He didn't really seem to let it drop. Breen, the leading Citroen, usually we're saying that because he's the one who gets to the finish and Meek doesn't. But on this occasion, Breen won in a fair fight, so, fair play to the Irishman, doing a fantastic job. So there is hope for Citroen, but, it's going to be a long road to recovery, and this is just bitter disappointment, and I'm sure the guys at the top of the Citroen board are going to be looking at their future in the sport. It's not totally out of the question, but, we could see some sort of exit, but, hopefully we won't. But questions will be raised after all this money and time, and they took last season out just to focus on this year. There's just been such a big disappointment. Loeb should definitely help. I think he's got a lot of experience, a lot of expertise. I think he has. Someone has to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he already has tested this car, or he's tested some 2017 cars, but I can't quite. I'm not quite sure on that one. If Loeb came back. Yeah. It would be great, wouldn't it? If Loeb came back for next season, that would be a pretty
I'm
ultimate
not sure if I want Loeb
we
back.
Get it we get it every year, though, don't we? Really, the Loeb comeback rumours. I really like it to happen. I don't think if he came back he would dominate, but I think he would really kind of set Citroen straight. But does Citroen kind of have to say let's cut ties with Loeb and let's do this on our own now, because Loeb won't be able to help us forever. But yeah,
he has helped them quite considerably, though.
Yes.
And I think that's the least he can do, is to come back and try and help them while he's still available to, because he's not going to be able to help them forever.
Yeah,
like you said.
That's true. I mean, obviously he's got his rallycross commitments, so he's kind of, I guess, keeping maybe one eye still on rallying. I mean, that is his ultimate passion, I believe. So yeah, it's a difficult situation for Citroën. Mikkelsen coming in, I don't think it really made the impact they were hoping it would. He was dropped for Finland. I'm not quite sure who's going to be in for Germany. I presume that Mikkelsen would be coming back. I mean, they have the drivers, and clearly it is a car problem, as we said all season long. But Meek does have his own issues as well. I mean, even if this car was competitive, would Meek really, really be winning the rallies? It's Mikkelsen, Breen, and Meek then for Germany. And where do they go from here? I'm not quite sure. I mean, the rest of the season's a write-off. It's all about next year, basically.
Yeah, I think they've just got to develop. They don't need to do anything else to this car. They just need to make it through and just focus their entire effort on next year in trying to figure out what is wrong and how to make the car more drivable. Because while it is quite a funny meme to see Meek win it or bin it, it's not an ideal situation.
Yeah, he's not the lead guy they want. You want a lead guy who's, dependable, like Ogier or Loeb. He'll
Exactly.
always score you points. And Meek is too win it or bin it. It might have been good in rallying 20 years ago, but now with all the drivers doing every rally now, you need someone who can always bring you points. And
Mikkelsen,
going back to
maybe
Loeb
that guy?
yeah.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Sorry, and going back to Loeb for a second, it is interesting how they've now merged Peugeot, Citroën and DS, like their motorsport division, into one, helping Loeb, cross over and help them with the rally car and, help them with, rally cross and also with the Dakar rally as well. So, perhaps they're trying to set it up to help, Loeb come over and do a few rallies, every season, or help them with development, for the future as well. Even though they can't depend on them forever, at least for the next few years, help them out until they find the guy that they want to, lead. It might not be. They've tried Meek. It might not be them. It might not be him now. But at least they're keeping Loeb in the picture for a reason. It seems like. So, yeah.
I think Ogier was that guy, but unfortunately they let him go.
Yeah.
While he may be available next year, depending on what he decides to do at M Sport. I'm not exactly sure if he'll want to go back to Citroën.
Not at this stage. I mean, why would he? Especially when you're like Ogier, you can pretty much demand a seat whenever you want. So there's no need to kind of anticipate who's going to be fast.
Exactly. If Ogier wants to go to Hyundai, they'll kick out Sordo or Padden, or they'll make him another car. He's got that kind of power in the sport. Although I'm not sure Neuville will be very happy about it, but I'm sure Hyundai will take him on if he fancies it.
Yeah, I mean, Hyundai said that there's no space, but I think when it really comes down to it, yeah, surely they would.
Yeah, they just put a hand on Danny's shoulder and be like, "You had a good run, mate." But there's this OJ guy who's pretty good.
I think
Yeah.
So
what's going to happen
recognise
next.
him.
I think it might be aware of him.
I mean, he pretty much ruined Sordo's career. Not intentionally, but just kind of him being there, kind of put any Sordo hopes to the rest. Anyway, yeah, sorry, go on, Matty.
Well, I was just going to say I can't really see him going to Toyota because they seem to have some sort of Finland dynamic going up.
That would break Latvler as well. He's had such a good year.
Oh no,
he's so happy. Putting Ogier in there would just ruin everything. So I
think Latvler would prefer to retire if Ogier then decided to join.
Yeah,
I think that's breaking point for him.
Definitely. Should we? I mean, Sordo was pretty anomalous this rally. I don't think any major problems really. Just kind of a lack of pace. Ninth place for him.
Yeah.
Characteristic for Hyundai this weekend, just no pace.
Yeah, pretty much.
Osberg having a bit of a did he have an accident?
Yeah, because he started off with the podium places, Friday, and then just unfortunately slipped back. But really good pace shown, which is promising. But that consistency is always going to be hard when you're on such a low budget.
Right, I think it's time. I think it's at that time where we go into the other categories. And of course, we've got our world famous Joshua Sutil here to guide us through those. Josh, where do you fancy starting
well,
today?
We all know where I want to start, but I'm going to start, in the sensible WRC2 category, where it's bad news for the humans because there's another young Finnish guy on the rise.
They just don't stop.
They just don't stop. It was incredible, really, performance from Jari Huttunen, who admittedly I'd never heard of before this rally, but put himself right on the map with his first WRC2 appearance of the year. And guess what he does? He goes and wins the event. A real strong drive from Jari, and definitely a name to keep an eye on for the future. Quentin Gilbert, of course, was second. It was a bit of a weird rally, actually, because we didn't have our kind of main championship contenders there. Vaby actually withdrew from the event, which was a bit of a shame. But still, we got to see some of the other guys get a good chance. Tom Cave and Ozian Price, of course, who I believe last time I checked was still the current British rally leader, I want to say. At least the last time I watched it. I'm not sure if he still is. Hope we haven't cursed him there.
I can't say I know that.
So Cave and Price, third and fourth, that's pretty rare for Brits in WRC2 this season to find some success. So that was a real good effort from them. We had Gus Greensmith as well in eighth. I believe he had a problem, unfortunate for him. Temestini was fifth, and Raul Jeets was sixth. But yeah, that pretty much rounds out the important WRC2 runners. Not a massive weekend for the championship contenders, but certainly a name there in Jari Huttunen to watch out for. Junior WRC, finally, Kev, Neil Solar was dethroned.
Yeah, by his main rival, it looks like this season. Was it? I can't say his name.
We really do apologise. But
the young Frenchman.
Yes.
So, yeah. The new Ogier. He won the rally, but for the Solons, he was actually really off the pace all weekend, struggling with setup. And then on the final day, he just came alive, won the final three stages, and won the final stage with 6.6 seconds to leap from fourth to second. So he really did save his weekend there with the final day, and he still holds a pretty decent championship lead over the young Ogier. Or new Ogier.
Exactly. Is it right that the young Soda was beating the young Ogier? That doesn't seem quite right in my head.
Maybe it's Lefebvre then. We'll call him the new Lefebvre.
Yeah,
anyway,
the new Lefebvre.
Okay.
A little disappointing. But no, a really good, strong result for him. And also Dennis Radstrom taking his second podium in a row. So really good for him. Quite a small entry list for Finland. I think a few drivers probably wary of the high speeds.
It was less than small. It was 5.
A couple of retirements as well. There was 7, but those guys not quite making it the distance. Everyone's favourite Senegal racing driver, Bolivian racing driver, rally driver, could not make it. Made more mistakes than I made in that sentence. But talking of mistakes, there were no such mistakes in the WRC trophy for anyone but the only entrant, Dan. He had a clean run to the win. He was on the table, and unfortunately, he crashed, and it just obviously...
The man, he literally had no pressure on him at all.
It was very unfortunate for Gorban.
He just had to finish to win the WRC trophy.
And unfortunately, he couldn't quite do it, which means he scores 0 points. Fortunately, no one else was there to take any points. So 32 points is his advantage in the championship. Of course, just 4 rounds to go in the thrilling championship fight between Seridis with a fantastic livery and Gorban, of course, with a fantastic car and livery. So we'll see how this fight kind of continues.
Can I just interrupt you for 1 second?
Of course.
Vaby was here, but he retired.
He retired? Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
There you go.
Actually, yes, Vaby was not in the WRC2. He was in the kind of... He was in
just
the
a
car.
private entry.
Yeah, but not entered. He was in the RC2 class with Eric Camely as well, I believe.
He was there. He finished 12th.
12th, right, yes.
Yeah.
So Huttunen actually won that class as well the WRC2, which was impressive. To beat, of course, Camely, who's a bit of a regular, you could say. Armin Kramer is going to be in a Fiesta 2017 car in Germany, so that's kind of course, he's one of the old WRC2 runners, which is pretty nice to see. And also, Seridis will be in the trophy next time out, and I think he's the only guy. So Gorban better watch out, because his main championship rival is going to be competing in Germany, and if he wins out of the one entry, But he's really going to close up to Gorban. So
I mean, is Gorban just going to go to Germany just to like slash his tyres or something?
Maybe,
or just fiddle with the engine.
Possibly. So yeah, we've actually got. I hyped it up, and actually, it might come true. We might actually have a really close fight for this WRC trophy. I hope they're both going to turn up to Australia because we could have a nice 2-horse race. But yeah, anyway, I think. Should we say who's our star of the rally? I think talking of the WRC guys, of course, not of the trophy guys.
Well, if it was the trophy guys, I don't think we've got much of a choice.
No,
but
okay.
For the WRC, you can't look past Lappi to be able to have the composure to keep himself up in a lofty position in what's only his 4th rally. I still can't get over that. His 4th rally, and he's won it. It's just unbelievable for me.
I've got to agree. I think there was no disagreeing with that. I think Evans also had a fantastic rally. Hannan and Suninen as well. Of course, Suninen doing a fantastic job. Pretty much, well, he's a rookie as well. Great job from Breen as well.
Yeah,
you sound a bit disappointed with that. Yeah, it was a great job for Breen as well.
There's just too many. I'm just like, I feel so sorry for Craig Breen. That's why there's all these young guys that have just kind of surpassed him now. He was ahead of them in the queue, and now they've all kind of jumped him.
Yeah,
it's the car though.
Oh yeah, of course,
I
think that just makes it even more frustrating. and he's probably looking at the WRC2 and see Huttinen going well and thinking, oh no, there's another one coming.
When are these aliens going to stop?
Yeah, definitely resurgence of Finnish rally drivers. You were definitely right in saying that, and this was the dawn of that. Kev, can you disagree with Lappi as the star of the weekend?
I don't think I can. All Finns were superb this weekend, really. Latvia until his engine gave up on him. Hänninen, Sanninen, Huttinen is how you say it in WRC2.
I can't wait to see that in a couple of years.
Yeah.
It is good that Sanninen did manage to finish 4th. I mean, I saw the crash on the final day and I was like, oh my god, is that his rally over? So close to the end. I think that would have broken his heart, but the Finns are well known for being men of very little words, but I think Sanninen takes it to a new level when he's not had a good stage.
I think after his crash, he just said, it was a suspect point and I spun, that is all, and then just drove off while someone's trying to ask him a question.
That's the way you do an interview.
It's like Matty as well. He kind of spends quite a while now just getting himself ready for the interview. Has a nice chat with his co-driver, just leaves the interviewer waiting for a bit.
Gets all the swearing out the way.
Yeah, exactly. It's very, 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 very good to see. I think the championship's in a great place in it. We kind of reflect quickly on the season so far. It's been great. That's my reflection.
I've chosen a good season to get back into WRC.
Definitely.
It's been excellent.
Yeah, if you just look at the championship, you've got 1st and 2nd battling, 3rd and 4th battling, 5th and 6th battling, 7th and 8th battling, 9th and 10th battling, and under that it's just a free fall. So
it's just the
it's just crazy.
WRC2 runners are meek.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of had everything. I'm glad to see that we've got a load of new winners coming in now, and the fact that Toyota have come in with pace and I think. I'm not sure how popular I'll be by saying this, but I'm kind of glad Volkswagen left now.
Oh yeah,
with the way it's turned out.
I think everyone is, apart from Ogier.
The one unhappy man.
I still would have liked to see that Volkswagen in Mikkelsen's hands, though, just to see how it would have fared against, the Toyota and.
But
it would be interesting,
but
but
wouldn't block it, didn't they?
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, should we get on to predictions for Germany? I think well, since Josh doesn't seem to be very happy about that, but I'll go to Kev first. Kev, if you can even give a podium, who do you think will be on it, and who do you think will win?
Let me just get my hat out for the podium. And
okay.
Yes. I'm going to go for Neuville to bounce back and win. I was thinking, as you said, the road position perhaps won't be as big a disadvantage, and he's won here in the past, got his first win for Hyundai here back a few years ago, and I was thinking he'll bounce back, and for Ogier, be on the podium, I think, and then I don't know, maybe Sordo will be up there to get the other podium position.
He is a tarmac specialist. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Well, this is his best chance, isn't it, to get a podium these next 2 rounds, particularly
Best
Spain.
chance to get a win.
Yeah, I mean, for me, a win's off the
Whether
table,
he'll be allowed.
but yeah, but it depends who's behind him. I mean, if it's Ogier, then obviously it'd be great for Hyundai to kind of nick those points off, and that's exactly what they need. Padden needs a good rally, because he's shown great pace, but there's not other results to really back it up. We didn't mention him, but he had a terrible rally in Finland, crashed twice, and
After just had an awful season.
Yeah, it's really not gone right, has it, from the very off? But we know, I mean, Poland showed he has potential to really, hit back with force. So my prediction is, Ogier won last year. It's so tough though, because obviously Neuville's...
Ogier's not on the Volkswagen though.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I'm going to go... Alright, you swayed me. I'm going to go with Neuville, Ogier. We're actually going to get a 1-2 for those two, which...
okay.
We've seen once this year, actually. Twice. In France and Portugal. So I'm going to say yes. Neuville, Ogier, and then... I think Lappi could be really strong, this weekend. I think he's really going to be riding high, but I'm going to say Sordo will get that final podium spot with a real close fight for that final podium spot. I'm sure Latvala will be back with vengeance, and Lappi and Padden too.
I think I agree with you, but for different reasons. And I think that it's probably... I think it's going to be Neuville win from Sordo, but I think there's going to be team orders involved. And I think, you're going to see Sordo near the lead but being told to back off, and then having Ogier in third. So I think there could be a little bit of either here or either Germany or Spain. We're going to see potentially some team orders come into play with it. Well, it is coming to the end of the season, but it's kind of expected, and I think we'll see some at M Sport 2. But I think there might be a little bit of a hurting point coming up for Hyundai with Sordo being such a tarmac specialist.
Even so, though, I still think Neuville will be faster, but, we'll have to wait and see. Final question, will youngster Armin Kramer, who's, only 48 years of age, will he score a point in the Ford Fiesta? That is a question. He's decent, I'd say. He's not, he's not a top WRC2 guy, but he was, always kind of thereabouts. Do you think he can...
Well, I think the inexperience might hurt him a little bit there. He's at the young age of 48. He isn't going to have a lot of time in a WRC car, and he hasn't got a lot of time to adjust.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's finally
get
got
points.
His chance. This is his chance. Yeah,
he could definitely get points.
A point. Yeah, I reckon maybe a point.
A point.
If just kind of drop out.
Point bracket S.
Well, you have to be ahead of, if you're ahead of the WRC2 guys when you've done that. So guys like kind of. Al Qasimi and a few others, they can't even kind of get ahead of those guys, so they've got no chance. But I think I'd hope to think that Kramer could do that.
I think it's definitely on the cards. In Germany, it can sometimes be a high attrition rally.
6 finishes last year from the WRC
exactly.
guys.
Yeah.
So it's a good chance for him. As long as he just doesn't hit the massive rocks at the side of the road, I think he'll be in good stead.
On the hay bales.
Don't forget the hay bales, which are well known to be as hard as rock.
And the vineyards as well. So I think it should be a fantastic rally. I'm very excited.
It's one of my favourites. I do like Germany.
Oh, it's tarmac though. I mean, I wouldn't. It's not gravel. It's not gravel, Matty.
No. Well, but it's just it's quite picturesque when they're going through the valleys and the vineyards. Anyway, I think we're getting a bit beyond ourselves now. If you've enjoyed, this podcast,
it's tarmac. No, it's all tarmac. Sorry, forget. Just carry on. It is tarmac.
If you've enjoyed this podcast, remember to leave a like. We've got plenty more podcasts coming up on Motorcast, of course, and I think we're trying to organise some sort of mid-season review of the F1. So stick around for that. That's been me, Josh, and Kev, and we'll catch you all in Germany in a couple weeks' time. So we'll see you then. Goodbye.